Hello, my name is Deborah Thompson. I'm Sarah Peters' mom. She asked if I would teach a basic no-knead yeast bread recipe, and I said I would. What makes it no-knead is we're going to be leaving it out on the counter for 12 hours overnight, and then tomorrow morning is when we'll put it back in the oven. Okay, I usually use 2 bowls, one for wet, one for dry. We're going to start with the wet first. What that is I use 1 teaspoon of active dry yeast. Put that in the bowl. And 1 tablespoon of sugar. The yeast will eat the sugar. And 1.5 cups of warm water. And we'll just leave that for a little while. Give it a little mix. In the other bowl, we're going to mix our dry ingredients, and that would be 3 cups of just white all-purpose flour, or unbleached all-purpose flour. When you scoop out your flour, it's not a good idea to stick your cup in there and pull it out, because what you're going to get is a compact cup of flour, and it's usually more than what you need, and you're going to end up with a dry bread. So you want to fill it up and then scoop it in. Your bread will be, your flour is fluffy. The next part is salt. You can use any kind of salt. Pink Himalayan, coarse salt, sea salt, and what I'm going to use is just regular table salt. And I'm going to use 1 tablespoon. And that's it. That's the ingredients. Yeast, sugar, warm water, flour, and salt. You want to make sure that your dry ingredients is real mixed really well. At this point, you could add another cup of another type of flour, like rye or brown, or any flour that you prefer, artisan flour. You can also add herbs if you'd like to this, like rosemary, basil, thyme, or oregano. You can add oil to this with your rosemary. You get a different texture. You could add cheese and have cheese bread. There's so many things that you can do at this stage. But again, this is going to be the basic. Now, if you look at our yeast, you can tell that the yeast is ready. It's nice and active, and it's ready to go. Pour that right in. Give that a nice mix. Make sure that all your dough is incorporated. Okay. And what you're going to be left with is just a nice mushy looking dough. It doesn't look like much, but what's going to happen is once it sits over the night, the bacteria in the air is going to feed this along with the yeast, and it'll ferment. We want this to ferment at least 12 hours, and we'll put it in the oven tomorrow. So what I do is I just use a regular shower cap from the dollar store, cover it up, and just leave it on my counter. They say the longer that you let this ferment, the sweeter your bread is. So you could either put this in your refrigerator for 2 days, even 3 days, so long as it doesn't get dried out, and then bake it, and you have a nice sweet bread. Okay, so this will sit. We'll finish tomorrow. Okay, next morning. It's been 18 hours, and I wish you could take a good look at that. That's what they call full bloom. All the nice bubbles on top, bubbles underneath. It's well fermented, and it's ready to go. So we're going to degas it, taking some of the air out. Do it flat. Little flour on the counter. Out. Okay, so now we're shaping it, and we're gonna sit in here. It'll sit in here for at least another hour before we throw it into our pan and bake it. Okay, I did try to use my basket. I usually use it, but I cleaned it out this morning because I made some other kind of bread, and it was still wet. So when I put the dough in here, it wouldn't rise because it was too wet. I took it out and I put it in a regular pot that I'm gonna bake in. It rose just a little bit, but we'll see what happens once it's in the oven. 450, 30 minutes. And one of the secrets is put water in the bottom of the pot. I put at least 2 cups because you want to have a steam bath in there. So 30 minutes. Back in 30 minutes. All right. This is your bread. Can you see it? Now tell if the bread is finished, open or cooked. Take it out. No, needs about 5 minutes more. Put it down, throw it back in there for like 5 more minutes. One thing about cooking in a clay pot, usually the bottom takes a little bit longer than the top. Time, let's say 7 minutes. Okay, back in 7 minutes. Alrighty then, here we go. Here's the bread. Just plain bread. Hear it? Okay, we put it with the rest of the bread. There's so many things you can do just with that basic recipe. I don't know what else to say. Have fun, knock yourself out.